It's really weird. A lot of people around me are getting cancer recently. Very strange. Today, I'm going to talk about the best researched food that you could eat to prevent cancer. And it'll only cost you $2.39. Now, out of all the reasons people die, cancer is the #2 killer. It has the worst prognosis. Medically, the treatment involves chemo and radiation, which kills the cancer, but it also kills off your own immune system. And when you get cancer, you're going to get all this different advice, opinions. You're going to be in a state of confusion, shock, and fear. So hands down, the most important thing to do is to figure out how to prevent cancer. And I've done a lot of videos on cancer, okay? But this one is going to focus on just one food that is so easy to add to your current diet, yet so beneficial. But my question always is, out of all the things that you can do, what are the most important things you should be focusing on? Well, eating this food is probably one of the most important things you can do. And that food is, are you ready for this? Broccoli sprouts. And the cool thing is you don't need much of it. Nope. So what is so special about a broccoli sprout, especially versus broccoli? There's a very specific chemical in broccoli that has a potent ability to kill cancer cells, and that is called sulforaphane. But it just so happens to be way more concentrated in broccoli sprouts than in adult broccoli. Whereas mature adult broccoli, has about 44 milligrams per 100 grams of broccoli. With the same quantity of broccoli sprouts, you get over 1,000 milligrams. So broccoli sprouts can literally give you 50 times more of this sulforaphane. What does the sulforaphane do to your cancer cells? Well, it causes the cancer cell to commit suicide, It's called apoptosis, which basically means your cells commit suicide. Now, I know what you're going to say next, because there are certain healthcare practitioners and doctors that will tell you broccoli sprouts and vegetables are toxic and they have carcinogens, which are toxic to the human body.
And does it cause harm? Yes, I think that it does. I hope that I've made that point clear to you, and I've just sort of scratched the surface of these. These defense chemicals cause a large burden of harm and illness in the population, and we're not treating it as such.
Well, it is true that sulforaphane is toxic, but it's only toxic to cancer cells. If you look up the papers on this topic, you're going to find this little one word that is buried in this research, and that word is selective. Now, what does the term selective mean? It means that that thing can affect some things, but not other things. And the unique thing about sulforaphane is it attacks the cancer cells, but it leaves your cells alone. So it is not going to cause your cells to commit suicide. Only the cancer cell. Very, very cool. Now, there's several other things that broccoli sprouts can do. It can help slow down metastasis, which is the spread of cancer. It can stimulate a condition called autophagy. This is a condition where your body starts eating up damaged proteins, especially damaged mitochondria, which is exactly where the cancer originates. And so when you consume broccoli sprouts, you're cleaning up all this damaged mitochondria that can potentially then turn into cancer cells down the road. Broccoli sprouts actually decrease the DNA damage in your cells. And that's really the foundation of why it's so important to consume in your diet to prevent cancer. Now, there's another thing that sulforaphane does that I think is quite interesting. It helps to stimulate something called phase 2 detoxification in your liver. You see, when you're exposed to poisons, toxins, chemicals that are carcinogenic, your liver breaks them down into harmless particles. So it goes through phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 2 is all about connecting another molecule to this poison and making that poison water soluble so it can easily be eliminated through the kidneys and your bowels. So anything that increases that specific enzyme will greatly help you, because we're just lessening the ability of these poisons to turn into cancer. Now, sulforaphane has a lot of other effects epigenetically, which is a term describing actions you can do to control your genes. So let's say, for example, you have certain weaknesses within your genes that you're more susceptible to getting cancer. And sulforaphane is one of the most potent molecules to help you with that. And then there's another hormetic effect. Now, what does hormetic mean? Well, that's a term describing a certain stress that causes your body to adapt and become stronger. So broccoli sprouts have a lot of different chemicals in there that create a mild stress that causes your body to become stronger and your immune system to become stronger to fight off cancer. Now, there's one more really important thing I want to say about this. There is something else you can do to spike the effectiveness of this sulforaphane by 3x. And all you have to do is you have to heat it. But the problem is if you heat it too much, you can destroy that compound. So there's a very specific temperature you want to hit, but not to exceed. And that temperature is 70 degrees Celsius or 158 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, to make this really simple, all you have to do is take 1 cup of water, boiled, okay? Put it in a container, and then take a half of a cup of water, put that in the container, take your broccoli sprouts, soak it into that water now that it's the right temperature, and allow it to sit there for 10 minutes, okay? Take it out, rinse it out. You can put it in the fridge, put it on your salad, you can put it in a blender, eat it. But that tip is only if you want to spike it even more. You don't have to do that. You can just make it easy and just eat regular broccoli sprouts. I mean, this is such a no-brainer.